Okay. Good morning, YouTube. I'm gonna give a minute for some people to come in while I'm getting my full content ready. Good morning. I'm Factz. Happy, terrific testimony Tuesday. I'll be with you in a minute for story time and defining passive, aggressive, assertive, and passive aggressive. I speak on many topics. I mostly focus on mental health awareness. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Check on a uncle, a father, a brother, a friend. Check on your people. Check on your strong people. I'm running a little bit behind schedule. Thank you for coming by. You can help me bring more essential content by liking the live. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. And thank you for those who have voted. I really appreciate it. I had something to occur, something that came up, so I'm running a little bit behind schedule. I'm gonna get my coffee together so we can have coffee and conversations. Whoever still be here once I get it together. Do like the live, share the live, tell a friend. I appreciate it. And if you want to know more about me and what I bring, check out my content. I was going to come on at 12:30, but however, other content creators come on at that time and I don't want to interfere with their slot. So that's why I was supposed to be doing 11:30, but I'll be ready in a few minutes. Hi, how you doing? I hope everyone is having a terrific Testimony Tuesday. I'll be ready and I'll be all the way live in 5. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm getting my lunch ready, getting my content ready. I'm Factz, and I like to look into facts. I don't like to just come on here and say anything. I like to do my homework, as they say. Passive, assertive, and aggressive. I'm working on those. And for those who do not know, there's also this other one called passive aggressive. So I'm struggling to get out of that because I've been passive for so many years that I start being aggressive because we all have two sides. The other side have to take over to defend me because I was so assertive in allowing people to walk over me like I'm a welcome mat. And I'm changing it. Over the years, I'm changing it. Over the years, the weeks, the months, daily, I'm changing it. Don't allow anyone to walk over you like you're a welcome mat. You're not a welcome mat. Hi, I'm from Atlanta, by the way, everyone. I do a little bit of cooking. Something like, I'm cooking me some chicken in the oven right now to go with my yellow rice. And I probably put me a little garlic bread on my plate with it. But I cook a little something. I do a little something, a little collard greens, steak, that type of stuff. I'm not making no noise though. Just a little something. Let's turn it back on. I'm also starting on my garden. My son and I, we starting to grow. So right now we have did bell peppers, potatoes. So we got a sweet potato. I just used my watermelon seeds to start me a watermelon plant or tree. I put that in the ground though, so I'm gonna have to see how that go. I put a little fertilizer on it though. I got my fertilizer and my soil on deck. Now I'm trying to do this consistently. I went on and got me a big bag of soil. Got me some of that organic fertilizer. I'm following the gardeners on here on FB. I'm on Facebook, by the way. I have my own page over there. It don't get enough traction, but I refuse to quit. Determined. But it's called Poetic Ureli. And I'm Justice El Nina over there. I'm on both sides of Facebook. I have content on TikTok. However, I'm not on TikTok anymore. The Gram, I actually deleted that page and then I came back, so I don't even have enough people to go live on there. And I'm on and off of Threads, just to give you a little insight. How everyone doing this morning? It's still morning. How everyone doing this morning? Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. If you good, put a 1 in the chat. If you just all right or okay, put a 2 in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm almost done with, because I'm doing a little testimony Tuesday. I'm doing some defining and some, what I always do, a little inspiration for the men's, because it's still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, I'm almost there, guys. I have to, what I do is I use my other device, and that helped me get what I need, rather than having to write so much down like I used to do. Now I do have some notes from when I was on doing many lives on other platforms. However, I learned, I got this copper toner in my hands, in my arms, so now I try to just do some little screenshots and whatnot to get my information. That way I don't have to, hurt my arms and my hands so much. I think since I'm right here in the kitchen, I think I'm gonna start off in the kitchen, then I may go in there with my puzzle ladder in the den. Count me down about 20 more seconds. Do you know someone aggressive? If so, put a 3 in the chat. If you know someone passive and they just let people walk all over them and continue to mistreat them, put a 2 in the chat. I think I'm kind of in between. Sometimes I can be too giving and let people run all over me. And sometimes I'm more passive aggressive. I think I'm getting closer to that assertive. However, that goes hand in hand with bipolar disorder. You have to know your triggers, because if someone triggers you, you can easily go into being passive aggressive because you feel as though you have to defend yourself. So if you have some kind of ailment or illness like bipolar disorder, it's kind of hard to find that balance when you allow people so long to mistreat you and you've been passive. So you're trying to find that middle, which is assertive. Passive, aggressive. I'm sorry, that end. Passive, aggressive, and assertive. So I'm trying to get to that assertive. So I'm kind of struggling on that, but I'm still trying. And I'm going easy on myself, because one thing you do not do, you do not allow people to keep on manipulating you or gaslighting you, because that's what they do. You know, make it feel like you always the problem. What I do is I try to get insight from more than one person, you know, because sometimes we just have to admit, it's probably me. You know, at times it can be us. We just got to know when to hold and when to fold it. But I'm about to go on them definitions. Let me over them. I'm going to define these things. Let me wash my hands real quick. What's good? What's good? So I'm going to start off with Jesus. I'm going to start off with the Lord. Then when I really get into it, I'll turn my camera around. I'm trying to get some of that fresh air. Anybody know? If you know, you know, these bills are sky high. So while it's just me here, I'm turning that air out for a minute. Them bills no joke. If you want to do something that you want to do or like to do, you got to conserve so you won't have to spend all that money on them bills. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for those who liked my live. I appreciate it. After I have my lunch, I'm finished cleaning up this house. It's shrink up right now, though. But we're going to start. Like I said, I'm starting with Jesus. If anyone have came across my content or my live, you know that I've been reading, reveal how God makes himself known. I know those that are believers. I know those that are non-believers. I know those that have been believers and decided they no longer want to believe. Thank you to all that voted. I really appreciate it. So since I'm looking at that vote, these votes, this poll, I'm gonna say this real quick. I have had therapy. It have been very enlightening. One of my therapists was one I will never forget. She's the reason that I'm on this platform, because I want to give to those that what I have learned and what helps me, knowing my triggers, knowing when someone else is dealing with depression or hurting or whatnot, and knowing what to do going forward. And I'm a believer in God, Jesus Christ, I believe in as well. And when I say that, there's two entities for me. You know, I don't know how everybody else look at it. The Son, Jesus Christ, you know, we got to come through him first. So I believe in him. However, I do now know that you can be depressed and believe in Jesus at the same time. That's been my experience anyway. Let me turn my food off. Okay, so I just want to speak on that third part real quick. Okay, and I'm going to go over this before I get into my other content. And there's bits and pieces and parts that I want to talk about in this book, not all of it. Because the person who made this content, they have some stories in here, and I don't want to focus so much on the stories. Right, so I'm going back to where I started. Revealed, how God makes himself known. There's nothing quite like a big reveal. We love a good surprise, most of the time anyway. Whether it is what's inside that beautifully wrapped package or the news your friend says you're going to never believe. We want to know what we don't yet. What's in the box, behind the bus, the big announcement. We simply want to know, but we can't until the wrapper is removed, the bus is moved, or our friend finally opens their mouth. The same is true with what we know about God. Unless he reveals himself, we cannot know him. Fortunately for us, God wants to be known. He left his footprints on this creation, like a master artist being identified by his paint strokes. But for those who might be artistically challenged, he has gone far beyond the beautiful masterpiece of creation. He has actually spoken. God has revealed himself, his character and actions through history, and they are recorded by his own leading in the pages of the Bible. And this is by Our Daily Bread Ministries. God revealed, how he makes himself known. Okay, and my focus is not to read that today because it's already in my content. If you want to hear more on that, then check out some of my content. What I want to focus on today, thank you for joining me. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the votes again. It is terrific testimony Tuesday. I'm going to tell a story time and or testimony about something or experience that I had in my life. But I'm first going to go over this. Okay, give me a second. One of them I forgot to plug in. Okay. Let's turn this internet off on this tablet. Okay. Bear with me for a minute. I have so many pictures on here. Okay, I think I want to go over passive aggressive first. I see people coming in and out, and that's okay. I'm still going to get this out because I'm working on my consistency and I have to show up for myself. Okay. Passive aggressive behavior is a pattern of expressing negative feelings such as anger or resentment indirectly rather than addressing them openly. I'm going to read that again. Turn my camera a little bit. Okay. Passive aggressive. Passive aggressive behavior is a pattern of expressing negative feelings such as anger or resentment indirectly rather than addressing them openly. Instead of having a direct conversation, a person uses subtle digs, procrastination, or deliberate neglect to make their displeasure known while avoiding direct conflict. Now, I can admit, I have definitely been passive aggressive. You know, I passed the passive and went right on to the passive aggressive, trying to go to the assertive. However, I did start at aggressive at one point in my life. No, I started passive. Then I went to aggressive. Then I went to passive aggressive. See, it's good to define things because once you define things, then you know what you're working with. You know what you're dealing with. You know what to work on. So that's why you will see me on here. And before I do anything, I'm going to define what we're talking about, what we're speaking on to get clarification, you know, because when I had a therapist, she won't just say, well, miss, you don't need to do this. She's going to explain to me why and what will work for me and what has worked for her. So clarification. So I'm going to read that one more time. And if you find it useful, I suggest that you Google it yourself and tally it down or do a screenshot so you will have it. Passive aggressive behavior is a pattern of expressing negative feelings such as anger or resentment indirectly rather than addressing them openly. I know a few people that could use this. Do you? Tell a friend. Instead of having a direct conversation, you know, some of us don't talk no more. We talk at people instead of to people, or we talk behind their back when we really need to be talking to the person that we have a problem with, if I'm being honest. That's just the truth. Instead of having a direct conversation, a person uses subtle digs, procrastination, or deliberate neglect to make their displeasure known while avoiding direct conflict. Guilty as charged. I definitely will deliberately neglect to make my displeasure known while avoiding direct conflict. That's me sometimes. I just have to be honest. That's me. But I'm a work in progress. And as a friend of mine say, I'm striving daily. So long as you are striving daily and working on you, be mindful of what the next person say, but don't take it hard. Go easy on yourself and correct that in you, and be honest with yourself. As long as you be honest with yourself, you will continue to grow. And after you get what you need, you will be equipped to help somebody while you have helped yourself. But however, we must be honest. If we deliberately neglect people to show our displeasure while avoiding direct conflict or having a real conversation with them, no matter who it is, but especially if it's your family member. And if you feel as though they don't want to have no conversation, just let them know in a nice way, in a courteous way. You hurt me when you did that to me. Now some people, I'm just being honest. For me, I have to love them from a distance. And some people I have just cut off. I'll see you, at the family reunion, whatever. Hopefully it won't be at the funeral. But I've learned some people I just have to let them go that way, and I'm going to go mine. I'll speak. I might even call and say happy birthday to you. But some people I just have for my own mental health. Because we can't pour from an empty cup. Give me 2 seconds. Let me take the chicken out the oven. Okay, how you want to make sure that food be crispy like we like it, a little, medium well or whatnot. Okay, back to business. Let's really, get to the meat and potatoes of this. Okay, common signs and examples. Backhanded compliments. Woo, backhanded compliments. Hold up, I skipped some. It's a common signs and examples. Passive aggression can manifest in many ways, often leaving the recipient confused or frustrated. Interesting. Passive aggression can manifest in many ways, often leaving the recipient confused or frustrated. You got that person, they want to say something to you, but they don't want to say it to you. So they say it to you, but they don't, and you like, what are they trying to say? What's in this that they're trying to say? They might say, I like to stay at home. But the truth is, you find out later on they went over such and such house. And they may say, well, their house I just feel a little safe over there, where they in the area where they live. So what are they really trying to say to you? So now you confused, you frustrated, but they really have a problem with you, but they don't want to tell you that. Okay, then it says backhanded compliments. The silent treatment, intentional inefficiency, denial or anger. Okay, let's break those down. Backhanded compliments, insults disguised as praise. I wish I were relaxed enough to show up with my hair a mess. Say what? You look. They gotta be playing. They got to be playing. I've seen this, but I have never really, looked into this for myself. This is Funny, not funny. Funny, not funny. Imagine somebody telling you that. You thinking you all cool and everything, and they, you know, you at the cookout or whatever, and they say, I wish I were relaxed enough to show up with my hair a mess. And we're like, what? Did they really just say that to me? Now, I can honestly say this. Like right now, I'm wearing my hair natural to the back. Some people will comfort you. You know, some people will give you a look like, I want to say something to them, but I think I know how they roll now. They're a mild-mannered person, but however, might not want to say that to them. I've got something like that before. Someone asked me, they said, I think I had on some socks and some slides. They say, well, do you get your feet done? And see, no, they didn't say that. Instead of asking me directly like they're saying, they was talking about how they got their feet done, and somebody else said something, and I don't know exactly what they said. The Lord didn't want me to hear exactly what they said, but they was coming for me. However, you know, sometimes people, when they say things and do things, they're really miserable. They're really unhappy in their own life. So sometimes it's not even about you. It's not even per se about them totally. It's about their life and their unhappiness. And so they were miserable loves company. So they will penetrate whatever going on in their life on you. So when the person said it, I was floored because I was like, they usually kind of whatnot. So I'm like, wonder what made them try to say that. So there's another thing it's a lot of ways you can look at things sometimes. So I was like, it's because I am, like she said, I wish I had basically the courage to wear my hair natural. I do. And you know why? I may look different to others with my hair done, extensions, whatnot. However, I believe in my beauty, that I'm beautiful enough to be, you know, without makeup, without extensions, without nails, you know, to each his own. But it was more about that person. It wasn't even about me. But they were basically doing backhanded compliments. And I never know that was the name of it. Backhanded compliments. Insults disguised as praise. Ain't that something? Now I knew this lady. I know of this lady. Like, she would tell me right now, your earrings are pretty. Then she may tell somebody else her earrings are pretty, but she sure should have got her hair done. Or she should have wore another outfit. And that's how she gave compliments. It was for some reason she could never just give a straight compliment. And I realized that it was something going on with her. For one, she didn't like the size she was. She felt like she was big, and most people she knew was smaller. And I always say, love who you are. And if you don't love who you are, then it's up to you to change that. On whatever means necessary that's healthy. I'm going to say it like that. Okay. The silent treatment. Deliberately ignoring someone or withholding affection as a form of unstated punishment. Deliberately ignoring someone or withholding action as a form of unstated punishment. I can definitely relate to that. And you know what though? I thought I was doing it, and I had to really take a deep dive into it, right? And I realized that it's not just that. Sometimes I have to guard my heart. So I converse with that person in a way to let them know that you don't honor me. I'm still gonna honor you, but I'm gonna honor me by stepping away. But I still will talk to you. I will send you a message and everything. However, we can't be what I thought we was, because for my mental health, my heart, I just have to step back. However, we have to be, aware if we are doing something like deliberately ignoring someone or withholding affection as a form of unstated punishment, silent treatment. And we do that in relationships. We do. And I honestly, hey, I'm a work in progress. I honestly think some people need that sometime in a relationship, because you gotta let people know, not to. You can have a conversation with them first, but you still can get a silent treatment, because you gotta let them know that I'm not to be played with. Like, don't walk over me. I'm not a welcome mat. You can't be touch and go. No touch and go here. Intentional inefficiency, forgetting to do a chore, constantly missing deadlines, or doing a noticeably poor job to protest a demand. Forgetting to do a chore, constantly missing deadlines, or doing a noticeably poor job to protest a demand. I'm sorry, I said a deadline, a demand. Okay, I can understand. I've done it before too, mostly in relationships. Like, if you have wronged me, especially if I told you, though, I like to try to tell people when they wrong. However, I will not show up. Like, we going to the party next. I'm not showing up. Not if you have done me wrong. I won't show up. And that's why I say we have to work on ourselves, though. We do. Forgetting to do a chore, constantly missing deadlines, or doing a noticeably poor job to protest a demand. Okay, denial of anger, saying things like, I'm fine, or it's a joke, it's just a joke, when it is obvious that you are upset or trying to be hurtful. I'm read that again. Denial or anger, saying things like, I'm fine, or it's just a joke, when it is obvious that you are upset or trying to be hurtful. I rarely do that. But I will say, I'm fine. I will say that, and I'll move on. Good afternoon. I'm Factz from Atlanta. I'm speaking on, my topics are men's mental health. It's still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I spoke on Jesus first, because I always put him first. Jesus Christ revealed for the believers and the non-believers, take it or leave it. And now I'm talking about passive aggressive, and assertive. Something that I'm working on, and somebody else might need this insight. Thank you for asking. If you like my content, please give me a like. Tell a friend. I'm trying to get, I guess I would say, my people in here, the people that can relate to my content. I do not have a niche. I choose not to have a niche. If I would have a niche, I would say inspiration or mental health awareness. But I do I do poetry. I do karaoke. I speak on real discussions and essential content. That's what I do. Thank you. I appreciate it. And if you have a platform, I will make sure to do the same thing for you. I'm a quality engager, by the way. Okay, so I was saying on the denial of anger, the only part I can relate to on that is, yes, I'll tell somebody I'm fine. And that's my passive aggressive. Because if I say I'm fine, guess what that means? I'm fine, but you may not be, because there might not be no dinner tonight. And I know that's wrong. I'm working on myself. I'm a work in progress. But if I say I'm fine and you don't did something wrong to me, that means it won't be no hot meal today. It won't be no hot meal. And you might not get too much conversation out of me either. And if you say, do you want to go? I don't want to go anywhere with you. So yes, that's why I'm working on myself. That's the passive aggressive me. And I was passive I was aggressive. Now I'm working on being assertive because right now I'm kind of passive aggressive if I'm being honest with myself. So I would say this, everyone, check yourself before you wreck yourself or hurt somebody. Let's try to be assertive. No passive, no aggressive, no passive aggressive. Let's try to be assertive because that's what Jesus wants, you know. And whenever it's like Aaliyah say, if first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Okay. Try not to be too boring here, but give some information. So I'm gonna give you one more, and then I'm gonna say a poem, and then we'll come back. Okay, I have so much information on here. I have to make sure I'm... Okay, we'll go on aggressive. Aggressive describes being forceful, competitive, or showing a readiness to attack. It can be a negative trait marked by hostility and intent harm, or a positive trait reflecting bold initiative and determination to succeed. Okay, I never thought about it like positive in no kind of way. Well, I'm not gonna say that because I said that being aggressive can be defending yourself. So I guess it is kind of could be positive. Aggressive describes being forceful, competitive, or showing a readiness to attack. It can be a negative trait marked by hostility and intent to harm, or a positive trait reflecting bold initiative and determination to succeed. Aggressive. Okay, 1. Hostile or confrontational. In a social and behavioral context, aggressive means acting in a threatening or combative manner to dominate others. I definitely have been combative before. One thing I will say, alcohol, beverages, or spirits, So you take a assertive person mixed with a beverage that have been holding in a lot, and you would definitely get hostile or confrontational and or both. In a social and behavior context, aggressive means acting in a threatening or combative manner to dominate others. Example, he was shouting and displaying aggressive behavior during the argument. Bold and driven. And in business, sports, or goal-oriented pursuits, it means using energetic, pushy, or proactive methods to achieve objectives. I'm gonna read that again. Bold and driven. In business, sports, or goal-oriented pursuits, it means using energetic, pushy, proactive methods to achieve objectives. Example, the company launched an aggressive marketing campaign to capture market share. The company launched an aggressive marketing campaign to capture market share. Okay, so that was my aggressive. Okay, let me say something about this. Boundary setting. Being able to clearly and politely say no without feeling guilty. That's something to work on. Being able to clearly and politely say no without feeling guilty. Amen. Okay. Communication spectrum. To fully understand the meaning, it helps to compare. Let me go back. To fully understand the meaning, it helps to compare it to other communication styles. Passive. You don't express your needs or you let others walk all over you, which often leads to resentment. Assertive. You stand up for yourself and state your needs in a calm, constructive manner. Aggressive. You fight for your needs by violating the boundary, feelings, or rights of others. Okay, let me read these examples. Examples of assertive behavior. In a meeting, I understand the timeline is tight, but we will need an additional 2 days to ensure the quality is perfect. With a friend, I love to help you move this weekend, but I already have plans that I can't break. Receiving feedback. I hear what you're saying about my report and I'll make those adjustments. Could we review it together once I do? Okay, those are examples. Okay, and I'm going to go over that again. Passive, you don't express your needs or you let others walk all over you, which often leads to resentment. Assertive, you stand up for yourself and state your needs in a calm, constructive manner. Aggressive, you fight for your needs you fight for your needs by violating the boundaries, feelings, or rights of others. We don't want to be aggressive. Okay, now I'm going to my last one. After I do a poem, I'm going to go pick up my folder, get some people in here. It's almost lunchtime. Okay, we have 25 votes. Therapy, 52% yes. Therapy, 32% no. Therapy, 16% maybe. Okay. I will be sharing this on my platform for those who may need it or those who may have missed it. I'm going to say a poem before I do this last one, because it is still lunchtime for some of us. I'll be doing 2 poems. You may or may not have saw them on my platform. Give me a second. I might walk outside while I say one of them and come back in, then I'll say another one and finish this content. Whoever's still there, I thank you for staying with me so long. I appreciate it. I hope the content have been useful. Okay, so I'm going to do this one poem. I'm going to walk outside, check my yard, and when I come back in, I'll do the other one and go over assertive, which is the last one for today. And I may or may not I'm trying to fit it in my schedule to come back on, because I did have some more insight and or information I want to go over. Let's go out here. I need to clean up a little bit out here, but it's not bad. This is a beautiful picture. Let me see. Let me make this smaller so you can see it. If I can. Okay. Yeah, I might move it over. So, this is one of our plants. One of our plants that my son and I are growing. Can't remember which one he said that one was. That's another one. We are new to this gardening thing, and we're trying to make it happen. There's a pineapple. So I decided to put my watermelon seeds right here. I don't know if you can see them, so much sun. Let me see, I'm trying to. Okay, you see right there? That's my watermelon tree that I'm growing. And this is just my yard. It's so sunny out here, you may or may not be able to see it. They're my little solar lights. I love solar lights. I had butterflies, but they got rained on so much. My rose bush, the other day, I put some fertilizer on them. I'm going to put some water on them in a minute. 1 minute I think it's going to rain, next minute I won't. So I don't know if it's missing water or not, because I really haven't been keeping up with how much water I've been giving it. But if you check my content, if you like plants or whatnot, you will see where my rose bush was really pretty. And this is another one. It was really pretty, and it stormed, and all of the little beauty just went away. These as well, they're coming back soon. As you can see, this one right here. So you can see these are the same plants. Now this plant right here, I didn't even know that grew out like that. And this plant right here, they're one of the same. And this is the third one that's like the one that has this little white on it. Can't remember the name. But as you can see, they are growing back. It's been so much rain, touch and go, till I don't know. That's my neighbor's yard. They gone. They had dogs over there, like 3 to 4. It's kind of quiet. My other neighbors have dogs, but they must keep their dogs in the house. I like this tree right here. I think it is so pretty. Let me show it to you. The color purple. It is so pretty. Oh, I just seen a pretty yellow butterfly. I come out here. I love nature, and I come out here sometime and I just sit in my carport and just listen to the birds and just nature. You know, watch the bees pollinate the flowers. Sometimes it's an owl out here. Now, when it came to my house one time, I was very afraid. I'm one of them type of people. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what they'll do. I'm kind of afraid. But yeah. So this is the yard. I'm about to say my poem. Someone may have to catch the replay. I know lunchtime is over for some. I'm not working at this time. So, let me see. I'm trying to see where I want to put my camera. So I'm going to put it right here while I say this poem right quick. You saw me. You saw me when I was weak. At times, I sleep. You saw me. You saw me at my low, feeling as if I could not sow. You saw me. Yes, you saw me from the start, even though you had no heart. You saw me with no muse, had no idea I was abused. You saw me. Still confused, I took your hand. Without wisdom, thought you understand. You saw me. Or did you see you? Did you see an opportunity? You know, you gave me much foolery. You saw me. Naive, broken, and blind. Psychological issues. How could I dish you this time? You saw me. So did you see you? Are those things that you used to do? Loose, obtuse, who? You saw me. Vulnerable, hostile, yet strong. I see you. Someone, something, somebody that I can lean on. Mister had bling on, no ring on, so I turned my game on. Oh, I think I'm in love with Mr. Wrong. Just might get my swerve on. You saw me. Friends with benefits because I can't or won't leave him alone. Danger zone, days, purple haze. God, please, 1 Corinthians 10:13 me. This state or state I cannot break. You see me now, calling out for help. Please don't let us drown. You saw me. Poem. Okay, let me go check my mailbox while I'm out here before I go eat my lunch. This is my puzzle that I'm working on.